That's a big truck. Nathan Idle here at the Fast Lane Car. Check out what we got for you this time. It's something different. Welcome to Red Rocks, Colorado. We are in the park, which actually has an amphitheater just behind me, and the Red Rocks Amphitheater is world-renowned for being one of the best acoustically sounding natural formations in the world. Quite frankly, certain bands come here all the time. We came here today to prove something that I think is very important. Roman didn't like this car, and I like it. Let me tell you why. Nathan's Rebuttal. 145 horsepower, 130 pound-feet of torque. And you only get that if you rev its nuts off. Roman didn't like the steering. And I can appreciate that to a certain degree because, after one day, the steering isn't so great. After 2 days, it's not bad. After 3 days, you see where I'm going with this? It gets better. It's really light, but it's not exactly a full performance car. So once you start getting into the turns, it gets heavy and it feels like you have to add some effort to it. To me, that's a good thing. But the problem with this engine is it doesn't really perform for speed. And that's what a lot of people get confused about because it is a sports coupe. It does handle around corners. And I think the ride is about the best in class for a sports coupe, especially with this particular one because it's the top level with the sports suspension package. Did I mention that this is Nathan's Rebuttal? The good news is the sports package that is in this car is one of the best among all of its challengers, and I'll tell you why. Because you can drive with it every day, and it's actually pretty smooth on the highway, and then when you go flying through a corner and you put it into a serious corner, it grips. That's why I like this car. That, I think, is pretty good looking too, but what are you going to do? This is a vehicle that's built for efficiency, not for speed. And that's one thing I think a lot of people get confused with because it is a coupe. You certainly can't argue with the looks. I mean, I think it's really attractive. It actually took the lines of the Hyundai Elantra, which is already a pretty good looking car, and made them better. That's pretty impressive. Final thing, the comfort of the car itself. The seats, I'm very comfortable in. Now, my big butt weighs a lot more than Roman's, and quite frankly, that can make the difference. But for a big guy, especially if you're not too terribly tall, this is a pretty decent car. On the Fast Lane Cars list of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, unlike Roman, who said basically to forget it, I say lease it. Give it a shot. Give it a year and see what you think. It's a much better car than your first impressions may reveal. For the Fast Lane Car, Nathan Adlin. See you next time.